Hey everybody, this is Kathy, Crowder's Mountain, North Carolina. I could not get this 1x3 focused in the camera where I have it mounted. So this is the only way that I could get the whole entire thing in the shot. So when we're doing our pattern today, I just wanted you to know we'll be doing half of it, and then we will be doing the other half of it. Like we did that tulip, the one that I just did. Somehow or another, I got most of that focused in, but I could not get that to happen today. So anyway, let me get the camera set up and let's draw this tulip for you. Okay, we're going to focus on the bottom half first, like we did in the previous video. We're just going to draw our leaves now. Well, but first, I'm going to put a border around here. I won't do it at the top of it right now. I'll just do it down here because we said we were going to focus on this end of it first. So that'll just kind of help us have a guideline. I'm doing a 1-inch border around it. Now, you could probably see the lines here. This is grid paper. If you've never watched one of my videos before, I used the flip chart grid paper. But most of the time, I flip it over and just use the back side of it for you guys. But in this case, it just worked out better to use this side of it. But now, having said that, I don't want you to think that you have to grid that off 1 inch by 1 inch all the way up your 1x3 sheet. You don't have to do that. We're going to measure. But if you did want to grid it off, you could. And that's what I want you to know about this. But we're going to measure it. But now, I went ahead and marked that border off, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. So this is the start of our leaves now. So we're going to this second row. Now we're just going to go in 4 inches from the outside. From the outside here, we're going to go in 4 inches and make a tick mark. And then on the other side, we're going in 4 inches. And make a tick mark. So you've got 4 equal. You got 4 inches equal on each side. I don't know if I said that backward or forward. But anyway, someone said on the other video they thought I said 3 on one side and 4 on the other. And I may have, but it's not. It's 4 inches on both sides. Now this is the same way we drew off the tulip leaves. I mean the iris leaves. I keep saying tulip because that's what we're working on now. Alright. So this is our halfway mark right here. And I'll go ahead and put dividing lines. Now this is just guidelines so that we can kind of keep up where we are on our board. But this is halfway up. So it's 18 inches from the bottom here. Alright, now for our leaves, we're going to make this first row or first set of leaves right here. That's what we're doing here. So we went in 4 inches and then went in this way 4 inches. So now what we need to do is go up here to the top, and we're going to go down 1 inch and over 1. And we're going to put a tick mark right here. So go to the center, down 1, or over here either 1, down 1 and over 1. But anyway, it's left-hand corner of that second block. And we're going to do that over here too. We're going to go to their center and over one and down to the right-hand corner of that second block. And we're going to put tick marks big enough to where you can see them. All right, now we're going to go back down here in the middle. I'll get you closer. All right, we're going to go back down here to the middle again. And see the center of this? We've got 4 inches here. We're going to put a tick mark here just because we know that's the center. And we're going to go up 3, well, let's say from the bottom of the board, just so I don't get you confused. From the bottom of the board, we're going up 4 inches. Okay? That's from the bottom. All right, then keep getting different rulers out here. So all we're going to do here is that tick mark that we just made. We're going up to that, and we're going to go back to that tick mark and go up to that one. See that? And then we're going to go back down here now at the first 2 that we made, and we're going to connect them to that tick mark up here. Going to do the same thing over here. So we just drew the first set of leaves. Now let's draw this one, which is not hard either. All right, let's go back to this one. Now we want it down a little bit farther, just to make it look more realistic. So we're going to count down 2 and go over 2. Make sure I count that right. Yep, down 2. Right, just so I can make sure I'm counting right. I'm going to put my ruler here, and on 6, I'm going to draw my 1 inch mark, and that's going to be the stem. So I don't want that, either one of those leaves to go up near that stem. So let's go right back here again. And we're going to count down 2 and over 2. And put a tick mark right hand corner of that. That's that block. So it would be from the middle, it would be 1, 2, 3, and over 4. All right, then this line here, now we want to make sure, we want to make our leaf go down to that. So let's say we're going to put our ruler right here at 5. So that'll be 5 inches from here to here. And then we're going to have, on this other side now, we're going to have 3 inches. Put just 3 here. Alright, now let's draw that. And I was going to try to use different shades of green, just so y'all could see it better. And at any time now, you jump in here and take you a screenshot. See, that's that one leaf. Now, the other leaf we want just a little bit higher over here. So we're gonna ruler again. We're gonna go over 2 again, right from here. We're gonna go over 2 and down 1. And That's right. Over 2 and down 1. All right, now we're going to go back here to this mark here. That, you know, we come up 3 inches. We're going to go right there and put our ruler on that dot and go 3 inches up on that leaf. And we're going to go 3 inches again. Yeah, that's the way I did it. On that leaf. So now we're just going to connect them. See what we did? We just drew those leaves. And I used 3 different shades of green right here. And I'll show you what colors I used. But remember, you don't have to have 4 different colors of greens. You can mix, just mix enough to where you know you got enough for 4 or 5 coats till you get the desired effect you want. And look, the shade. All right, now we're going to draw this stem right here. And I'll use an even darker green for that one. Okay, now see, this is our halfway mark. So we're going to move our paper so that you can see the top half. Okay, here is the stem. Let's do that stem first before we do the top of the tulip, okay? Because since we were already down here doing our leaves, I moved the paper so you could see the stem part. All right, remember this line we made right here, right in the middle. That's your 6th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's right in the middle. And I said half of that and half of this one. So that centered that 1 inch line right there in the dead center of my board. Now I want to come down from the top. I'm coming down, and you can't see the top, but I'm coming down 12 inches and making a tick mark. You see that tick mark right here? So what we want to do, since we found that 12 inches, we're going to put our ruler back in here again on 6, and I'm marking it 1 inch. So it'd be 1/2 inch over here on the 6 and 1/2 inch over here. So you got a 1 inch line right here at 6. Now I'm going to go down here and I'm going to, I don't have to do that because I think the ruler will line up. Let's see. I want a 1 inch thick stem. As long as I can get that ruler lined up. And you can make your stem as wide or as skinny as you want to. But for this pattern, I'm going to show y'all 1 inch. And then you can say, well, that's too thick for me. I don't like it that thick. Then you can make it a little bit more skinny if you want to. All right, so now we've got the stem. And I made it in an even darker green color. So you could put a little bit of black in your darkest green and have a really dark stem if you want to. All right, now let's do the top. Okay, now we're going to draw the top. We've got everything done except for the tulip here. So we're going to draw it. And that's not going to be hard. But I did try to make it a little bit easier to explain by making me some little cheat marks here. Now, let me tell you this before I keep going, because for you guys who've never watched one of my videos before, you know I'm using this paper, And I'm using Sharpies and dry erase markers, whatever I can, to make sure that you see the lines that I'm drawing. But now on your actual barn quilt wood, whether you're using MDO, which is what I use, or that medium density overlay, that's what I use, or the aluminum composite, you're not going to use these Sharpies or anything like that. I'm not sure what the majority of people use, but I use the heat erasable pens, and I love them. I wouldn't do without them. The heat of the dryer takes them away, or the paint washes it off. It's just so easy, and no eraser trash or any erase lines or any pencil lines are left. So that's what I use. But anyway, I'm not using that on this paper for you guys. All right, so let's draw the flower. So the first one we're going to draw is the bottom part of it. Now we're going to go back to our top of the stem here, and I'm just going to put my ruler at 1.5 because I want a 3-inch mark straight across here. So I put my ruler there at 1.5. So there's the first mark of the flower. Now we're going to go up 3. 1, 2, 3. And from the right hand side, we're going to count in 1, 2. And put a tick mark at the left hand corner of that second mark. And we're going to go over here, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go up 3. 1, 2, up 3 from that line. 1, 2, 3. Over 2. 1, 2. And put a tick mark here. So you see what I did? And we're just going to connect that. Alright, now we're still drawing the bottom, that first petal, big petal. Alright, now we're going to count up again from that tick mark. 1, 2, 3, 4. And over 1. So it's right in the corner of that second row. So you'll say from this tick mark, say we're right in here, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, and right up in the right hand corner. We're going to do the same thing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and right in the left hand corner. So you see what we've done. This is our border. We'll go ahead and draw that in so you can see these tick marks a little bit better. So here's your border. There's your border. So these tick marks are going to be right on that border. You see that? See that? This is what we're drawing right here. I better get another yellow one, hadn't I? Get the same yellow one back. So from this tick mark to that one, we're going to draw a line. There you go. Now, to finish this section of the tulip, go back to that center line, right in that center, and count up 3. 1, 2, 3. And put your tick mark there. And that's where we're going to. Now that is the bottom leaf. Now I'll show you how to put the highlights in there in a minute. Alright, now for our second one here. Let's see if this will work. At that tick mark, go up 3. 1, 2, 3. And put you a tick mark. Alright, now come over to that one. And go up 3. 1, 2, 3. And come over 1. So, but actually from the edge it would be 3. So 1, 2, 3, but 1, 2, 3 in the left-hand top corner. And what you're doing is just, you're going to find the same spot over here. So 1, 2, 3, then over 3. 1, 2, 3. That'll be the top of the right hand. So what we're doing now is we're going to draw our lines there. And then we need to draw them down here. So just put your ruler here and then draw straight down to where it meets this top one. Alright, then the other one right back in the center here, don't count that one. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's right on top, right at the border there. And so for that one, we want to find us a couple of spots. So we're going to go right in the corner of that and make a tick mark at 2. In the corner here and make a tick mark at 2. And then all we have to do is draw the top. And we're finished with the outline of our pretty tulip. Now I want to show you how I did this. You see these darker places here? I just wanted to add some definition between my rows of petals. And so you can see I used a really dark, a little bit lighter, and a little bit lighter, just so it could show up better. But I come back in here and I used an even darker shade right in here. See? And I'll show you, and you can do that if you want to. If you don't want to, if you don't like that, you don't have to do it. But I'll show you what I did. I just went to that corner and and you just make it as wide as you want to. I made mine like 1/4 of an inch. See? And I went from over here, and like I say, I just measured out about 1/4 of an inch here and made my line. And I did the same thing here, but this time, where the thickest end is down here, it's going to be up here this time. So I went from there, and I just placed my ruler about 1/4 of an inch away from that. And drew me a line. And did the same thing here, about 1/4 of an inch. See that? And then up here, the thick line's going to be that way again. Again, I just kind of eyeballed it and made it about 1/4 of an inch, but centered in that tick mark, right in that angle corner, and that's it. So then when I colored that in, see, it gave that some definition. Alright, so there's the pattern. I'm not sure that I could get you in any better than that, so you might want to take a screenshot so you've got half of it on this screenshot, and let me put it back up here. So, go ahead and take that. Alright, now here you go. Here's the bottom part. And now you can do the border any way you want to. You can have a 1-inch border. You can make it a 1/2 inch. You can leave the border off of it if you wanted to. But I wanted the tulip to be the focal point, so I didn't want the border to get too busy or too wide. So that's what I did. So hopefully you can, that's wild, isn't it? So I know you can't hardly see all of that with this camera angle, but I don't know if you could take a screenshot of that whole pattern together or not like that. You could try it. Better get the biggest part of it in there. It almost looks like it's colored, don't it? Especially up there. That's funny. Okay. Now, if you watched that iris video, I showed you this picture of this tulip. How I did the corners here. You could block them off that way if you wanted to, but I didn't do that on this one. Can you see it? See how I got the white corners? You don't have to do that, but you can if you want to. All right. Let me show you my colors. Look at that. I got the whole thing in there. How did that happen? I worked with that for 30 minutes and couldn't make that happen, and it just happened by accident. Well, I'll be. Miracle. Miracle on the mountain. What? Let me show you my colors. I'll start with the border. I got Metropolis Gray for the border. And for the inside here, I put Aerial View, just a really light blue. For the stem here, I used Favorite Green. Put it over here. For the darkest part here, I used Sparkling Emerald. For this leaf, I used Vegas Green. And for the brightest leaf, I used Park Picnic. Now for the flower, again, I used 4 different colors of yellow, but you don't have to if you don't have 4 colors. Put a little white in one, a little tiny bit of black in one. I'm not a colorist, but you can shade it, just make sure you have enough. All right, for the bottom part here, I got Sunspark. And for the middle section, I put Chickadee. And for the top, I used English Daisy. And for my highlights here, I used Sunset Glow. So you see there's 4 yellows and 4 greens. But you mix up yours if you don't have that many shades in your library of paint. The paint, your own personal paint library. Okay. Almost through. Let me show you something else. Now look at this. I am absolutely running out of room down here. I'm trying to be a gardener and a barn quilt painter. Look at this. It's taking up all my space. There ain't nothing like playing in the dirt, y'all. I even got it sitting over the top of the trash can. And one day, when it gets warm enough, I can take all this out. But these are jumbo ferns. There are just 6 of them, and look how giant they are. But it got down to freezing for the last 2 nights, so I had to bring them in. Anyway, back to painting. In case you're wondering about the bottles, I taped it I typed it up because my handwriting looks like chicken. Looks like a chicken scratch. And if it gets cold, I can't even read it. So here you go. Should have done that a year ago. But the bottles come from a company called Lole. So just go to lolevefe.com and put in code Kathy10 and you'll get 10% off your order. I'm not sponsored or anything now. She just gives us that code so y'all can get 10% off. And if you're interested in purchasing anything that you see or you need to contact me, my email address is kathyrtaylor10@icloud.com. And then I wanted to mention to you, I always try to do this, but I forget most of the time. There's 2 Facebook groups that I follow that are huge. They're huge Facebook groups. And one of them is Barn Quilts International, and the other one is Barn Quilt Addicts. And I think there's like, I don't know, 80,000 people or 80,000 followers. But anyway, they're some of the smartest people that you'll ever talk to about paints and sealers and things like that. So don't be afraid to ask a question. But if you go up to, like if you go to Barn Quilts International and there's some little dots at the top on the right, I think that's how you search for a topic. But now, for a pattern, if I'm trying to find inspiration or a free pattern or something, you could go to Google and Google it, and there's all kinds of patterns that will come up. So anyway, I got some good patterns coming. And I hope you enjoy these videos. And if you do, I hope you click subscribe and ring the bell for notifications when I do upload a video, and hit like. They tell me that YouTube shows your videos the more likes you got. That's what I hear anyway. But anyway, I wanted to tell you that I have the next 2 patterns are going to be from the Kansas City Star quilt pattern. Kansas City Star used to put out these quilt patterns. I told y'all about them. So I've got 2 coming up. One from 1936 and one from 1945. And then I've got that dragonfly that I promised, and a Carolina Lily. Now it's coming because I've promised them to people. And I'll get them up as soon as I can. Anyway, thank y'all for watching. And I'll see you all in the next video. Take care now. Happy painting.